you know what, guys? This is just gonna have to work. I'm hoping that you can hear me. But yeah, I've tried this like 3, 4, 5 different times. I don't even know where to look. Okay, I think over here. 3, 4, 5 different times, because I live streamed a few weeks ago and I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and make this a routine. Hold on, wait, before I get started, let me wait a little bit. I'm sure it's not going to be that many people could join in, but you know, I could wait. Okay, you know what, let me just start talking, because look, I think it's just gonna be me and you, honey, me and you. But I've been trying to set up my live stream. The first time I live streamed, I believe I live streamed on my phone or my tablet, one of the two. I'm not really sure. I don't remember which one or how I did it, but I know it wasn't through the camera. And I'm like, you know what? To have a better quality, let me set up my camera to it, because I know I can live stream on my camera, using my camera as the camera instead of the camera on my tablet or my phone. I'm having everything set up. The feed from my camera is coming onto my tablet, and then as soon as I press live, honey, it just goes straight back to the camera that is on my tablet, and I'm so over it. I was gonna cancel this live and just delete it, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's do this, because I really need to get ready for the day, and I wanted to record me getting ready on live. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out on another day. Like, don't get me wrong, I am planning on going live more often, and yes, well, no, yes and no, whatever. I'm not gonna be going live at home, so whenever I'm out and about, yeah, I'm gonna be going live on my devices, which is cool. But you know, occasionally, every once in a while, you know, the quality can be a little bit better, but I guess this is not too bad. I guess it's not too bad. Okay, so today, actually what we're getting ready for is I have a dentist appointment in a few hours. Let me see, my appointment is at, I think, 5 or 5:30. I'm not sure. I'm planning on being there at 5, but I think it's at 5:30. So I want to leave at 4 o'clock to get there. It takes me about an hour to get to my dentist's office, about 45 minutes to an hour to get to my dentist's office, because because the location that I have was, how can I put this? So I chose the dentist office that was closest to my job at the time when I started going to them. And I could easily switch over to another dentist office, but this appointment is not for a cleaning. This is actually for my Invisalign trays. So I don't think you could switch dentist office in the middle of something like that. Maybe if it was braces, but since it's Invisalign, I don't know. But I just continue to go to this office. Only have to go to them like once every other month just to get my trays. And I should be done pretty soon. This is my third revision. It don't look bad on the camera. But anyway, this is my third revision. There's a couple of things that needs to be fixed this go around, which is like my bite is completely off. I don't know how that happened. And then my front two teeth is not even. It's not that bad, but it's not even. So hopefully this go around is not going to take too long. But anyway, since we've been on here for about 6 minutes, me chatting, the main reason why I'm on here is because, well, not the main reason. The main topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about was starting over versus starting new. So one thing I've noticed in a lot of people's lives is that there are, due to like different things that's going on, the government and situations, the economy, let's put it like that, because I don't want to get political too much, but there's a lot of people who have to start over or feel that they have to start over. And I am one of those people. Currently, I am, I guess you could say, unemployed. I would call myself an entrepreneur since I do have my YouTube channel and I do file taxes on my, on my channel, any expenses, things of that nature, all that jazz. But as a consistent source of income, I guess you consider myself unemployed, whatever. Which I feel like a lot of people is kind of like in the same boat when it comes to looking for employment. So let me kind of backtrack. Right now I am looking for employment. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for something that's a little bit more stable when it comes to the income department. And I feel like there's a lot of people, like I said, is in that same boat where they're looking for another job. Either it could be maybe they were laid off, maybe they quit, maybe they was fired, or maybe they're just not happy at the job that they're at now and they're looking for employment. So that's pretty much like where my journey is now. And I'm telling you this more or less because I'm going to document my journey. There's a lot of things that I'm documenting, and there's a lot of things that I want to talk about in this live when it comes to starting over and starting new. Now, a lot of people in this boat would think that they have to start over, like, oh my God, I'm starting over. But the way I choose to see it is starting new. Because when you become an adult, you realize that you're really not starting over. You're just starting fresh. Reason why I say you're not starting over is because there's so much that you have learned along the way. If you've had education, even if it's just a high school diploma, I have a degree. If you've had a job, any type of job, it doesn't matter what the career was in, even if it's not the same career that you're in now or going towards, you're not really starting over because there's always information, always lessons learned, things that you have learned that you can always bring over into your next life or your next journey. And it's crazy because when I used to work in retail, I made it all the way up into assistant store manager. But when I used to train, when I wasn't a store manager, when I wasn't a manager, and I was just like a sales associate, and they would have like they would have the sales associate like train the newbies, especially if you've been there for a little bit. They'll have that. And then even when I used to do orientations, I would always tell people that I was onboarding is that regardless of what you want to do, because a lot of people don't really consider retail as a end all be all career. They just look at it as like a source of income, which is, which is okay. That is okay. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with you seeing retail as being a career. But one thing I will always tell people, or tell the new hires, is that regardless if this is your end all be all, even if it's not, because a lot of people be like, I'm only going to be here for like 2 weeks. I'm looking for something else. I just need another income. I just need something. Regardless of if you just here for 2 weeks, 2 months, a year, 2 years, learn something. Learn something. And the reason why I told them, there was multiple reasons why I told them that, is because one, when it comes to retail, there's so many people that I have trained that said, I'm only going to be here for like 2 weeks, I'm only going to be here for a month, and then a year later they're still there. And the worst thing you could do is have that mindset and think that you're just going to be a placeholder, and then still be there for a year later and have not gone anywhere within that time frame, or haven't learned anything. Because if you're going to be there, you might as well learn as much as you can, get promoted. Even if it's not your end all be all career, at least if you get promoted, you get a higher pay increase. Or even if you go from part-time to full-time, at least you get more money. And even if you're only there for a month or 2 months, at least, girl, I haven't even done anything when it comes to my face besides my brows. Hold on, wait, what's the next thing I'm doing? What's the next thing am I doing? What's the next thing? Let me add a little primer. I don't know if I really need a primer, but I'm gonna add one anyway. Like, I'm pretty much just using makeup that's in my travel bag. I need to take some of this stuff out. So that's what I'm kind of doing, is like unpacking my makeup travel bag while I do my makeup. Okay, here's my primer. I'm like, where's my primer? Okay, what was I saying? Anyway, basically what I would tell them is learn something along the way, because regardless of how long you expect to be here, you can always take something that you learn from your current position or current place in life and bring it on to the next. So because you're always learning, you never really starting over. You're just starting fresh, right? Because even when it comes to retail, one thing about something that I learned in retail, and the main reason why I started working in retail, is because I wanted to build with my communication. I used to always be awkward when it came to talking to people or approaching, especially talking or approaching people that I don't know. Very weird, very awkward. Even when it came to me being in school. When I was in school, I never really approached people to talk to them. Even now to this day, like in my everyday life, I don't. When it comes to people wanting to be my friend, usually they come to me, gravitate towards me, and then we just kind of like go from there. Very much so introvert. However, working in retail has taught me how to approach a person or to start a conversation. That is really hard. I know some people may think like, what do you mean you don't know how to start a conversation? But no, when you don't know somebody, you just walk up to them like, hey, what are you gonna say? Like, how's the weather? How's the weather? You know, it's sunny outside. That is a skill within itself. Some people have it and not everybody have it. Some people do and some people don't, and I don't. I had to learn it, and there's nothing wrong with having to learn it, but that's something that I learned working in retail is people skills. How to not just continue a conversation, because I know how to continue a conversation once the topic is there, but to start it. That was my, where is my makeup? Did I put everything up before oh, what am I trying? I just sat here and broke a nail. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I'm bugging. I'm over here really thinking. It's like right here in my makeup bag and I can't find it. Okay, so yeah. But anyway, with my journey of starting new, because I'm not starting over. Like, that would be crazy, me starting over. You never starting over. Even when I left retail and went to my job in accounting, I didn't start over. I started new. There was a lot of things that I took over into my job as an accountant from retail. All right. But now that I'm no longer working at that job and I'm pretty much doing like content creation, which is something that I kind of took over from retail, being able to communicate with people, talk to people, just starting a conversation or just chatting, because come on baby, like for real. Before retail, I probably would have never been able to be like, okay, so let's get talking without somebody asking me a question. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about, not only this, but part of my journey of starting new, is this week is my first week of, you know what, pause, let me go get it so I can show you guys. Okay, so this week, actually I purchased this book like a couple of weeks ago, but this week is my first week of doing everything that's in this book or starting the book, and this is The Artist Way. The Artist Way. So this was something that I thought that would be really cool for me to start, because when it comes to content creation, YouTube, being an influencer, this is a very creative field to be in. And I am a creative person. My family is very creative. Like, we know how to draw. We know how, I work well with my hands. I love arts and crafts. I used to build anything out of nothing. Like, my mom, like whenever I would have like a project, or my younger brothers would have a project, like a school project, my mom would buy like a whole bunch of stuff. She'll give it to me and she'll be like, figure it out. And I would always make scraps and turn it into something that was really nice when it came to these projects. Even when I was sitting there and I would like have my brothers, they would be sitting there looking like confused. They wouldn't know what to do, like with scraps. Like different art things and scraps and stuff, and how to actually make it into something. And I would do that all the time. And when it comes to, I feel like as I've gotten older, and with me going to school, getting a degree in finance, and finance is a very, how can I say it, not so artsy field to be in. Is very like, analytical. I think that's what I want to say. Let me move this out. Okay, very analytical. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That I feel like I need to brushing up on my artsy fartsy ways. So that's the reason why I started reading this book. So last week, I was about to say last year. Last week I just went through the introduction. I really didn't expect the introduction to be as long as it is. Or long as it was, but it was a pretty lengthy introduction. And then Monday I actually started with week 1 of the book. So pretty much we just start off with doing your morning pages. I didn't do it Monday, but I did do it Tuesday and today. And every week we have to do our artist. Is it called an artist day? Look, I'm new to this. Like I said, this is my first week doing it. I think it's called artist day. So pretty much what it is like a day where I go and do something that is artsy or feeds my inner child. Because you're basically based on what I'm reading, your creativity comes from like your inner child, which is very much so true. Because it's like when you're young, you have so much creativity, like you're learning everything new. So it's like you do kind of have to like figure things out along the way. And not only that, it's like you're very creative because you're like within your natural self, your natural being. So let me put this over here while I continue to do my makeup. And honestly, that's what I hope to get from completing this. Like, don't get me wrong, I still do art stuff here and there. Even before I did this, like I have so many like sketchbooks. Even when it comes to doing YouTube, like doing my makeup and things of that nature, I feel like that's me tapping into my artistry. But I feel like sometimes I feel like my creativity is not what it used to be. And we're gonna like we got to work on that. We got to figure it out. And that's the main reason why I am doing this, is because like I said, I feel like when I was younger I was so much more creative than what I am now. And I don't know, maybe part of that could be because for so many years I had to tap into other parts of my being to make a living. And you know, let's be for real, when sometimes the creative careers usually is not the ones that people, or at least your parents, push or drive you to have. You know, most people look at the creative careers as, you know, you don't really make much money, you know, the starving artist. And you know, I don't know, but anywho what I want to do is ultimately bring you guys on this journey with me. At the beginning of the year, I stopped doing vlogs and was going straight into basically deep diving and digging into my niche. Niching down within my niche. Honestly, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I was niching down in my niche because I felt like my niche, I was doing makeup and beauty. I felt like it was very broad. I felt like I wasn't getting as much engagement as I would like. Bump the views and the subscribers, I felt like my community was not building. There was a lot that was going on, and I wouldn't say there was a lot going on. Let me change that. I feel like I just was not building a community, and obviously I would outsource to get other people's opinions on like what could be going on, like, you know, what could be going on. Like, I couldn't really ask my viewers because I did not have a consistent viewership. Like, I don't have, like I said, my community was pretty much non-existent. Like, the people that were in my community that I probably could reach out and ask to, I knew them personally, and I didn't want to get a biased answer. I wanted a non-biased opinion on what's going on. So ultimately what we came to a conclusion was that I needed to niche down within my niche. And start of the year, I felt like I started doing that, not knowing that I was doing that, even though I didn't come to the conclusion that I needed to niche down in my niche. But I started doing like my favorites and my project pans. Well, not really a project pan, my empties. Let's put it like that, because I wasn't doing a project pan because project pan is too intense for me. But my empties, and then later on I end up coming up to the conclusion that my niche is going to be like mindful spending, talking about my struggles when it comes to spending money or not spending money on so much makeup. Because honey, when it released, if I like it, I want it, I'm getting it. And I'm like, you know what, I need to fall back on that. And that doesn't have anything to do with my employment status. Honestly, I feel like I've been doing this for a while. Honestly, since I did my first declutter, I sat down, like when I did my very first declutter, the amount of makeup that I got rid of, I was sitting there just like calculating in my head, like, dang, this is a lot. Do I want to add a darker shade? No, I'm not. I did that for no reason. I think I'm just going to keep it like this because I don't want anything too crazy. Well, not crazy. I don't want too much. This is just like a regular, because I'm not doing too much. I'm just going to the dentist office, like, for real. I just put on a little skin tint. I'm using my contour powder as for eyeshadow. And I might add a little bit. Do I need to, like, contour? I don't think that I need to. I think my face is fine. I think this is done enough. What do y'all think about my under eyes? Do I need to add a little concealer under my eyes? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna set this. Child, I'm just lazy. Let me add a little blush. Let me at least do that. Let me add a little blush. But you know what? I'm gonna use this as a blush because I'm looking for something that's like a neutral, like a peachy nude. I should have put this on my mixing palette. I don't know why I put this on the back of my hand, but we here now. I do that sometimes. Like, I use like my liquid lip stains or liquid lipsticks as a blush, especially if it's like a color that I want, but I can't, like, I don't have a blush that's just quite that color. Yeah. Okay. Y'all, what was I saying before I went to my blush? Anywho, when I do these lives, note to self, look, okay, because I'm new to this, new to doing lives. I'm going to have to make pinpoints on what I'm talking about so that I can keep track of my talking points. But, The artist way. But yeah, like I said, like I want to tap into my creativity. I feel like even though like I've been doing YouTube, YouTube has been my the way that I am or have been able to be creative. I just want to tap more into that. Oh yes, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about like when I was doing the declutters, and I was thinking about, I was like, oh my goodness, like everything that I got rid of, either because it was expired or because I wasn't using it, honey, in the back of my mind I was calculating everything, and I was like, yo, this is like a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, like the first year I did my declutters, a lot of that makeup I got from like BeautyCon, or when I was like going to different events and I would get like the goodie bags and stuff like that. So it wasn't that bad, it wasn't too harsh, but still it's like in my mind I was like, was this something that I could have like switched off with somebody else when I was at these events? Like I could have been like instantly knew like, okay, I'm not really going to use this, let me get this to somebody else that likes this product or is going to use it a little bit more than I would, or enjoy it more than I would. Or was there someone that I could, some vendor that I could have been like, you know what, I don't want this goodie bag, like even though you're trying to give it to me, I don't necessarily need this goodie bag, you know. Just, it was just wasteful. Like even though I was not necessarily purchasing some of these products, I just feel like it was wasteful. Like even when it comes to being a content creator, like there's people, companies, brands that give you products, or okay, I think, all right, let me add a little bit here and then a little bit right there. Okay, I think I'm cute. I think I'm cute. I think that's all I need to do. Like even when people send me products, like, or ask if they can send me products, I've gotten to the point where I'm like saying no, and I'm finding the power in saying no when it comes to receiving products. There's multiple reasons why I don't want to receive products. Like one is because the main one is like if I'm not using it, it's wasteful on my behalf. Even though they already have a number of products they plan on sending out to people, it's like it's wasteful. I just feel like it's so wasteful. And then the second thing is like I just don't want that in my space. Don't get me wrong, like I feel like I have a lot of space, but I don't want to be cluttered. Like I don't want things to be cluttered in my space. And I, at this point, have certain places that I utilize just for products, and I don't want to expand it. Girl, I just don't want it here. I just don't want it. I don't want it in my space. I don't want it taking up room. I don't want to be cluttered. I want it to look nice, clean, and organized. I feel like when things are cluttered, it kind of becomes a little bit overwhelming. And not only that, it's like, who wants to see that when you walk in? I don't know. I know I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I do like say, okay, yeah, I'll take it. But I don't want all of that in my space. I've been trying to find people like in my area who are like makeup artists for me to like kind of pass it along to. I haven't really been too successful. I feel like honestly, to be honest, I just need to go out there and just look for people, be like, oh, you a makeup artist? All right, let me get your contact in. Da 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 da. You know, if you ever need makeup, if I have any extra makeup, you know, I'm gonna send it to you. What time is it? Because I don't want to be running late. Okay, I got plenty of time. But yes, starting over versus starting new. Yes. So something that we are doing today outside going to the dentist office is and I'm probably going to talk about this in a vlog too, is I want to bring you guys on my journey. I want you guys to participate on, and I'm so sorry if I'm not looking in the camera. Like, I'm really trying to look in the camera. If I'm looking like off and it's not like eye contact, please forgive me. We're new to this. We're new to this. Give me grace, please. But what, so like I said, I want to bring you guys on my journey. I want to go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's. I know that's an interesting place to go for this, but hear me out. So I want to go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's today after my dentist appointment. And I'm probably going to bring you guys along with me. I'm not sure if I'm going to vlog it or if I'm going to pop up on live. Again. But I want to go to their crafting area. See, follow me, follow me. And the reason why I want to go to their crafting area is because a lot of times when the crafting department at those stores, those two stores in particular, is not overwhelming, and it's like you get what they have. And a lot of times the things that they have is so unique and different that you probably would not have seen at a crafting store like Michael's. I don't know if Joann's is still around, or Hobby Lobby. Like, those places are particularly made for crafting. So it's like you can become very much so overwhelmed when it comes to trying to find something or doing something new. So I would rather just go to Home Goods, or not Home Goods, TJ Maxx or Marshall's, to see what they have. And a lot of times they have like really good stuff, because I used to get a lot of like my arts and crafts stuff from there. Like my paints, I still have some of my paints from TJ Maxx or Marshall's. No, Marshall's, because I used to go to when I moved here, I used to go to Marshall's. I didn't really go to TJ Maxx often. When I was in Arkansas, I would always go to TJ Maxx. But here, I was going to Marshall's. But yeah. So I want to bring you guys along with me to pick out something, but ultimately not just to pick out a crafting item, because this week I do need to do my artist date. I'm gonna get the names together and we're gonna be more onto it, but I need to do something this week for my artist date with myself. So I'm gonna see if they have anything, but ultimately what I want to do, because I said a lot of that just to get to the point that I was saying that I wanted to make, is that I want to get popsicle sticks, you know, like the thick ones. I want to get the popsicle sticks, and I also want to get like a mason jar. And on each popsicle stick, I want to put, like, write down things that I could do for my solo date, my artist solo dates, right? Last night I did brainstorm, and I have like a few. I think I have like 15 things that 15 like ideas for artist dates. And I want you guys to put in the chat, in the comments, of like some ideas that I could do that's like solo dates. I would prefer them to be more on like the artsy side of it. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be artsy, because I know one of those solo dates I said go to dinner or go to the movies, but it's just pretty much something that will feed my inner child. Little things that will feed my inner child. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all, I might have to jump off this live soon because my tablet just popped up and said I have 10%. So we're gonna wrap this up real soon. But what I want to do is write those out on a popsicle stick and then like randomly pick them out. And I feel like that would be something fun to put in like my vlogs. Now that I said vlog, I'm thinking like, did I just miss that whole segment when I was talking about that I don't do vlogs and I started doing vlogs? Or maybe, no. I didn't skip it. But we can go back to it. I didn't skip it because I said what I needed to say about it, of me niching down within my niche. And that's the reason why I stopped doing vlogs. But now I want to start getting back into vlogs. And then this, the Artist Way, is a good reason for me to start back. Not only just to document this journey, but I also want to include you guys on this journey. I think that it would be fun. I will hope that some of you guys will participate in this with me. I think that would be kind of cool. If you were ever planning on doing it, or if there was something that you maybe you do have a job where, you know, is very analytical, or is very like, it's not creative, and maybe there's something that you always enjoyed doing when you was younger, like being creative. Maybe you could start the journey with me as well. I think that would be fun. I think that would be cool. I think this would be a nice way to build a community, for me to build a community, for us to build a community. Because, honey, it's not about me. It's not about me, and I understand that. So I think that would be fun for us to build a community off of this, and finding our younger self and our creative self. But yeah. And I just think that would be a nice start in bringing back my vlogging. Because I know if the people who started following me because of my vlogs, I know that you guys have been missing me and would be happy to see me. I went back not too long ago and was like looking at some of my comments, and it really touched my heart to read the comments that I was getting, especially when it came, not especially, like when it came to my vlogs, and how people was like, oh, I love your personality, you're so fun. And it's nice, because like when I do my tutorials, don't get me wrong, like I have some people that might, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it, or a good way to say it, but honestly, like when I do my makeup tutorials, I get the comments like, oh, you're so pretty, and don't get me wrong, that's cool. But to hear people be like, oh my god, I love your personality, oh my god, when I watch your videos, it's like I'm talking to one of my girlfriends, and that's the reason why I be like, hey girlfriend, because y'all are my girlfriends. I want you guys to feel like you're talking to one of your girlfriends, or listening to one of your girlfriends, or on a Zoom call, or FaceTime, Zoom call, or whatever, with one of your girlfriends. And I just think that this would be a great start. I think this a great start to get back into my vlogging. So yeah, we've been on here for 40 minutes. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off and just finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll probably see you guys a little bit later when I'm at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Alrighty, see you later.